Say hi, Joe.
Hi.
This is Joe, who some of you may know. Hey guys. I don't very often do a live video, but we decided to do one today because it's World Mental Health Awareness Day. And we were actually talking before we decided to go a bit live. Not a bit live, just live. And so we thought, while we were talking, we thought maybe you guys would want to join in with us and maybe ask some questions. And I don't know, if you just want to hang out with us for a bit, we're in the studio, we're writing music. We're doing some music for a documentary. And when we were doing it, we realised that we're so lucky to be here to have a chance to express ourselves through writing music. And but we know not everyone is that lucky to have that avenue. But if any of you guys are, I don't know what you guys are up to, but maybe you're, I don't know, if anyone's feeling low, feeling down today, I just want to say that you're not alone, and at the very least we're here. Yeah. But anyway, we'll just chat and yeah. Because actually the most important thing that you can do is talk, and it's easier said than done. But I've had friends who have been having a really hard time, and I had no idea because I was asking if they were okay in a kind of hello, how are you kind of way, but actually not really asking and not really getting to the root of the problem.
Yeah, but I think there's a lot of stuff people in our Western, whatever you want to call it, society, it's not cool to be not okay.
Yeah.
So no one's going to say, oh, I'm not okay.
Yeah.
Even if you go, hey, everyone's goes, yeah, all right. Yeah,
but would you say that's more of a bloke thing? Because I feel like sometimes when I'm with my girlfriends, it's almost like it's a thing where we talk about what we're going through in our relationships or, in our careers, in our personal lives. But with blokes, what do you talk about? Honestly.
Football.
bearing in mind there's children listening, watching.
But yeah, I know.
But for example, would it be normal for a guy to? Would it be normal for one of your mates to come and sit down and say, "Guys, I'm really not.
No.
I haven't been feeling low."
No, it's quite rare when that happens, and when it does, all the other lads who are there are like, "Oh shit, something's really bad." But really, it would make more sense if we could talk about it before it gets to that point.
Yeah.
Because the reason why it's got that bad is because someone's normally bottled something up for so long, and then it's like an explosion.
But do you think if they talked about it before, getting to a point where they have to talk about it, I think the thing that I try and encourage with my mates is to always reach out to me, and I'm always all over the world, and I'm my friends hardly ever know where I am, but I'm always there, and I'm always a pair of ears, and I always want to listen, and I always want to give advice. But I think my girlfriends reach out way more than my male friends. I don't know if ever.
I don't know. It's just how we've been conditioned, I suppose. But it doesn't need to be.
Yeah.
I mean, it's getting better, but it's still like a million miles off, really. And no one wants to talk about it.
Yeah. Yeah, talking is definitely extremely important. I have to admit that, and I'm only saying this because I know it's my fans watching. But when I first started in my career, this lighting is terrible. I'm aware of that.
I look great.
Joe looks great. I'm under the bad light. But when I first started my career, I had to have cognitive behavioural therapy, which is a way of anxiety so that I could exist in a stress-free way. I couldn't go outside the house without freaking out and having an anxiety attack. But I've been quite open with my anxiety. But again, easier said than done. But sometimes talking to someone that has a sort of unbiased opinion. That's why I really am an advocate for therapy, because talking to someone who can have a different perspective and an outside perspective away from your friends and away from subconscious biased, advice or whatever. Yeah. I think that's really important too.
Yeah, because when you're chatting to your mates at the pub or whatever when you're younger, they'll give their opinion, but chances are you're in the same friendship circle, so everyone's got like a slightly skewed opinion of it, because they're mates with them and blah blah blah, and there's cliques and blah blah. But like you say, so if you can find someone that's completely independent isolated from the situation, it can be good to get their opinion.
Yeah, and the other thing I was going to say was that sometimes I used to completely block myself off from everyone because it was easier to deal with my anxiety, because being by myself I could just deal with myself and think that was healthy, but actually it made it manifest and made it a lot worse, and I ended up completely cutting off communication and contact with people and having a connection. But now I force myself to talk to people, and I force myself to go out and interact a bit more and do things. But it is easy to kind of cut yourself off and just think that's the easier way out, because then you sort of don't have to deal with anything.
But there's also, I think, a distinction between being alone and being lonely. It's very different. Like, you can spend time on yourself. You don't have to think that's like bad to spend time by yourself.
Being by yourself, by the way, can be a really good thing, because you can read a good book by yourself. Believe it or not, you can go to the cinema by yourself, and I do it. And so we're not trying to say that being by yourself isn't good, because actually it is good sometimes. And occasionally I felt lonely when I'm by myself, but then I think, wow, I could do lots of things by myself.
For us, like doing music, I spent hours by myself when I was a teenager, just making music. So Ellie would have done as well, like with a guitar, writing songs. You can do loads of amazing things by yourself, but like...
When I was a teenager, I spent most of my time in my bedroom playing guitar, and my friends probably used to think I was a nerd, which I kind of was. But
it's cool to be a nerd.
It's cool to be a nerd. But that was my escape, and that was how I overcame a lot of anxiety and a lot of loneliness. I still do that now. What else were we talking about? We were talking about good stuff before, and that's why I wanted to put you guys on with us, because it was really interesting. But another thing which I've always banged on about since I first started out, and again, may not apply to everyone, but I found that exercising really, really, really helped my mental health. I'd go to the gym. I would not want to go to the gym. It would take everything in me to go to the gym. Joe's like, can't relate.
Yeah, as you can see by this, I do not go to the gym. But I would put a flip on that. Someone who doesn't go to the gym, and I'm a bit chubby, don't have to feel shit about it. You are what you are. You don't have to look like everyone else looks or whatever. Like, if you don't like exercising, Ellie likes exercising. If
you don't like exercising, that is so okay. You're not... just because you're seeing your friends posting does not mean that you have to do that. You do what makes you happy, and don't ever feel judged because you don't want to exercise. I just personally love... Are you making faces?
No, Ronan just wrote something stupid on there.
I personally love to exercise, and it makes me feel better. There's something about the endorphin release, or just getting my body moving, or pretending I'm in a film when I'm running. That seems to work. So that's one thing I will say, a way of making myself feel better.
But like I say, like for me, like if I looked at myself and then looked at everyone on Instagram and blah blah blah, I'd feel like shit all the time. Oh, sorry. But you're not allowed to swear? I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, we all swear. We all swear, don't we?
But I'm quite comfortable being how I look, blah blah blah. But like, just But
I think it's really important that you've got good people around you. Really giant, and Joe look, I'm not that big. It's really important to have the right people around you. If there's people around you that you feel instinctively, or you have an inkling that they might not be making you feel that good, you're probably right. Mm-hmm. So be aware of that, be conscious of that. if there are people in your life making you feel a bit crap, do try and deal with that, because I think that's really important.
Yeah. And then when you find good people, the missus, Martha, when you have amazing people around you, then hold on to them as well.
Yeah.
If you can be like, what's the word? Not negligent. Like neglectful of amazing people around you, can be detrimental as well. Like, it's good to hold on to good things as well. If someone makes you feel good, give them a call, put the effort in as well.
I think we should probably go back to making some music now, because I know you all are desperate for me to finish my album. But the last thing I'll say is also that I'll go back to the being alone thing. Yeah, like Joe said, being alone is not necessarily being lonely. The times that I was alone, sometimes I wanted to go out and see people, but my anxiety got the better of me. And then other times I would embrace it and read a really good book, watch a really good film, watch something funny. That really helps, by the way. Watching comedies really helps. Or hanging out with my cat. Hey, Wallace, you're definitely not watching, but hi. And also exercise, for some reason, always makes me feel a hell of a lot better. I can answer a few questions if you like, but if you ask when the album's coming out, I cannot answer that. So, wait, what have we got?
There's lots of emojis at the minute.
Okay, I've got big kisses from France. This lighting is really just dreadful. A hug. Well, I wish I could hug you all, but sadly I'm here. But if I see you, I'll give you a big hug. Do I like cheese? Yes. That's the only question I've had. Really?
The cheese.
I've had, do you like cheese and where do you go for breakfast? Yes, hugs. Lots of hugs.
I wouldn't bother with the hugs personally.
I really do help. I hope that some of what we said helped. I'm sure I could say a lot more, but those are the things that personally have helped me out of my anxiety. And do I love your mother? Don't know your mother, but I'm sure she's lovely.
Turkish fans.
Yeah, hi to my Turkish fans. My favourite key to sing in? God knows. Memes help with anxiety. That is so true. Joe is my meme dealer.
Everyone should have one.
Everyone should have a meme dealer. No more questions. I think everyone's just mad surprised that I'm doing a live video.
Caught them off guard.
I caught you guys off guard. No questions, just waves. Yes, I will be coming to Spain on tour. I don't know when that will be.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh shit, I forgot music. Music helps.
Well, not just music, any creative outlet.
If I'm not listening to electronic music, I'm listening to Classic FM. Classic FM is key. I'm deadly serious about that. Shout out to Classic FM for just always making me feel better. Especially when they play the Braveheart soundtrack.
Or Jurassic Park.
My sister says, please can you take my son off me? I can't cope. She's joking. Because he's adorable and he's an angel. But of course, love to babysit anytime. Still not really any questions. So I might have to go.
That was a good question. How are you?
How are you? Today, I'm really good. And I can say that with all honesty. By the way, sometimes it's okay to be good. That's another thing. If you're actually feeling good, admit that you're feeling good, because it's okay to feel good too. Favourites about to die. Okay, love you guys. Thanks for listening in with us. We've got to get back to this documentary work, but I love you and I hope to see you soon. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye. Big hug.